Happy New Year, Pisces, and welcome to Sunshine Intuitive Readings. I apologize for my tardiness in getting your January readings out. The holidays took over and there was definitely a lot of action coming and going, and the time for readings was limited. So these are getting out to you a little bit late. I hope you don't mind, and thank you so much for your patience and your support throughout 2016 and hopefully into 2017. So with all of that being said, let's get into your reading for January 2017. I will add that I do plan on having your year ahead forecasts out very soon. So stay tuned for those as well. So with all of that being said, let's take a peek at what January 2017 has in store for all of you Pisces out there. And I will warn you, I'm getting off of a cold as well, so I may have a few tickles in my throat as I get through this reading. Hopefully not too many. I'm just going to move these cards up a bit so we can get the full spread in. Okay, so Pisces, for January 2017, the first card position that we have represents fire. So your creative forces, your will, your ambition, the things that gets your juices going, and ironically enough, you have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a fire card. It's fire energy, which is action orientated. However, where it is a queen, I see that you're giving a lot of thought to what it is you want to do. You're very close to actually getting these plans in motion. But you're really thinking things through this month, Pisces, as to what the plan of attack is for 2017, potentially, or based on what you may have just have come off of. So, very solid plans, I will add. The Queen of Wands really speaks to confidence and getting things right. So, I would say that whatever these plans are that you are devising and planning on putting in place, do have a lot of success coming behind them. In the next position here, which symbolizes air, which would be your current strategies, your thoughts concerning your goals. It can sometimes be the things that keep you up at night. I hope not, but it can be. You have the Justice card in reverse. Now, the Justice card in an upright position really speaks about potentially legal situations coming your way, formal situations, if not legal. So it could be, bank dealings, signing of contracts, signing of deals, signing of documents. In a reversed position, though, I see that you potentially may be thinking about something like this happening. So based on, and it's funny because it comes right off of this card here, which talks about planning something out. So I think as part of your planning, you're also thinking of the legal implications and how you can steer clear of the negative side of legal implications as you move forward with your plan of attack, which is very wise, Pisces. I have to say that's an extremely wise move to really give forethought to what potentially could creep up as you start to implement these plans. So these plans that you're planning on putting in place could have something to do with a business idea, potentially. Now, the next card here symbolizes water, which would be your emotions, the way that you're feeling this month. You have here the Nine of Rods in reverse. Now, the Nine of Rods in an upright position really speaks to an individual who's feeling quite battered, quite run down, feels like everybody's against him. As you can see here, he's holding on for dear life to one of those rods. He's got bandages on his head and his arm. He's been through a lot, and he's not really feeling too confident about the people around him. In a reversed position, it really speaks to exactly the opposite of that, Pisces, which would mean that you are feeling quite confident, quite grounded, quite sure-footed with the people and situations surrounding you, which is an excellent time when you have those feelings of serenity, I will say, with the feeling of being so sure of of your life and what comprises of your life, whether it's the people or the things around you. It's an excellent time to really sit down and put those plans on paper and get those things rolling, because that is the time that you will have the clarity and also the good fortune of seeing things for what they truly are. So you really have that clarity to be able to fulfill those plans in the future. The next card here speaks to, it represents Earth, which is really your material things that help you cope with everyday life. And when I say material things, I don't necessarily mean monetary. It could be potentially the people, the situations, the things that surround you that all attribute to your everyday life. Now, I say that it doesn't always mean money, but in this situation, Pisces, you have here these Six of Pentacles. So I definitely do feel that there is some money situation coming through in the month of January for you. Now you can see here in this card, it's an individual who's almost paying charity to these other two. One's getting a little bit more than the other. I feel that for some of you, you could potentially be helping other people out. Somebody may come to you and ask you for a favor and you may be helping them out, or this could be a situation of somebody helping you out. So this could be something overdue that is due to you to help restore that balance. Because as you see here, the scales are a little bit uneven. So something could be coming through to you in a monetary fashion this month that would help balance those scales. So that will resonate with each one of you differently because this is a general reading. Now, the next position here speaks to what explores you to drive to those new directions. What explorations do you want to embark upon? Here you have the King of Swords in reverse. Now, this is quite interesting. The King of Swords in an upright position really speaks to ideas coming into action. Solid ideas. The King speaks to putting those ideas into motion. In a reverse position, I believe that there is some type of stagnant motion, which potentially could be why you are maybe you're circling back on a project to reevaluate it. Maybe you made the first draft and you thought, you've given it some thought and you thought, well, gee, right now, I see there's a couple loopholes that I could get into hot water if I don't fix them sooner rather than later. So I see potentially that you have either found these gaps in your approach through actually putting it into play, or you've given it thought about how it would all play out once the plan was in motion, and you've decided that, yes, I have identified those gaps and I am circling back to readdress those and plan for those. But you're very, very close. You're so, so close to getting that magical recipe, Pisces. Right here, it's funny, you're not the first sign that has had this card pulled in this position, which is interesting. This card speaks to what helps you maintain a balanced and a healthy lifestyle. So here you have the Death card in reverse. The Death card in an upright position speaks to changes coming through. Now, when people see this card, they can sometimes get a little bit frightened. I don't look at this as a scary card at all, because change brings through sometimes good things, sometimes bad things, but ultimately it is truly all good, because the bad things, or what we perceive as bad things, should bring in lessons, life lessons to us, which then makes way for the good things to come in at a later date. Here, I see that the change is in reverse. So again, that stagnant energy, potentially telling you, just take your time. Don't push yourself. I find in January is the month when everybody wakes up magically the first day of the month and says, I'm going to do this, and I could go on, and they have these huge lists of how they are going to transform their life basically in a day, because they all seem to decide that all of these changes are going to miraculously be implemented on the same day. That is a surefire way to not get all of those things achieved by the end of the year, because if you try to take on too many changes at once, it's almost like a system overload for your mind and for your body, and then some of those changes end up going to the wayside and they never get resurrected. So it's absolutely okay to have the huge to-do list of how you want to transform your life for the better, whether it be healthy eating, healthy sleeping habits, whatever that may be for you. But if your list is too long and you try to implement everything on one day, I don't see a whole lot of people achieving when they pile that much change on all at once. So take your time methodically, really plan, what is the one thing I want to really achieve first for the greatest impact to my life. Start to address that. When you feel that you're confident that you've adjusted to that change, then implement the next one on top of it. Implementing 5 to, I've seen 15 different changes in a day. By the end of the week, at least one of them is gone, and it could be the most important one you wanted to achieve. This right here represents what potentially needs to go in efforts of helping you move forward for greater fulfillment. So in this position, which is interesting, you have here the 6, which is the Chariot. The Chariot. The Chariot speaks to victory. It also speaks to second chances. I apologize, Pisces. Got a little tickle in my throat there. It's a 7. Oh my goodness, I'm way out of whack. That tickle came up and threw me right off. But the Chariot really speaks to victory and second chances. In the position of what needs to go, potentially this could be that you're almost overly confident that you can achieve everything at once, and if it doesn't work out, you'll always have that little, pillow to catch you at the end of the fall. Sorry, I just had to take a drink there. We don't always have those magical pillows at the end of the fall. So potentially, and it really speaks to this message here, and almost speaks to overconfidence in this position of what needs to go. This is a very positive card, the Chariot card. So even when it's pulled in this position, it's still not a bad thing. But it's just telling you to be aware of, you don't always have those cushiony falls, and to reevaluate things, which I feel you are doing, because here I see this coming through loud and clear, that you are seeing a gap in something that you put forward and you're addressing it. Now, in this position here, this speaks to what the universe wants to guide you towards for your greatest fulfillment. And here you have the Queen of Cups. This could potentially be you, Pisces. This is a water sign, primarily Cancer, but it could be you as well. Where it's a general reading, it can truly be any sign, male or female. There is someone in your life, and again, it could be you. I feel that I'm getting the vibe that this is someone else, because you have the Knight right next door, which we'll get to in a minute. The Queen of Cups is someone who is very serene, very motherly, very nurturing individual, has wisdom through a lot of hard-learned lessons. So the universe is saying pay attention to an individual who fits that description, who you would have around you in your life, because they are there to give you the support, the insights, and the guidance. Almost to have those light bulb moments. This person may actually attribute to you discovering these loopholes or gaps preventatively, as opposed to after the dust has settled, kind of thing. Now, this card here speaks to the universe's reaction to your current state of being. Now, here you have the Knight of Cups. The Knights are generally the cards that speak to something coming in action orientated, so something, a new development coming in. I feel that something potentially may have recently come into your life, or is just about to come into your life, Pisces. This would have been something that, it just didn't come out of the blue. This was something that either you were giving thought to, or somebody else was kind of socializing it with you prior to it actually taking fruition. But something has either recently developed or is about to just develop. You're going to be extremely happy with this news. It's going to fill you with a lot of love. It's going to fill you, it's going to make you feel very emotionally happy, emotionally sound, and emotionally grounded, which really speaks to this card here. So that's beautiful. So there is something new coming in this month that's going to almost catch you in the nick of time to get out of that hot water situation. And it's all going to turn out quite lovely. Now, the last card here, which really could be the first card, is the premise or the foundation for the entire spread. This is the Three of Cups in reverse. The Three of Cups in an upright position really speaks to celebrating with close ones, close friends, close family members, really just kicking up your heels and having a great time. In a reverse position, I feel that, you know, coming into January, you may have felt that you were almost drained from the either, and again, because it's a general reading, this could be either way. You may have been drained because of the workload that you had put on yourself during December. You could have also been drained because of the amount of excess socializing that we all seem to do during the holiday season. I always say that we try to cram a whole year's worth of visiting with different people into a very, very short window of time. It can be exhausting. So I do feel that you almost feel drained, and you're actually welcoming this almost pause period in your life and in this year as we embark upon this year to reevaluate, to get things right. And something new is coming in that's quite positive, that's going to fill you up with a lot of love and a lot of gratitude, I see, from you towards someone else for what they have offered you, whether it be wisdom or guidance or potentially this monetary situation down here. Now, I always like to pull 2 additional bonus cards just to kind of add a little bit more clarity to the reading. Now, this here, which is interesting, this is the Tower in reverse. Now, the Tower in an upright position speaks to a dramatic event happening, and it could be positive, it could be negative. Again, the picture depicts a very earth-shattering situation, which sometimes it can be, but most times it's not. But it is something that generally creates some type of havoc, which creates change. In a reverse position, I'm seeing that you're almost sidestepping. I keep getting this message. You're sidestepping this in an upright position. It's like something, some information or something, a windfall happens to you in some type of way this month that if you didn't know, if you weren't privy to that information or those resources, you would have gone down a tricky path. I feel that this month you're catching something just in the nick of time to actually turn it around for the better. Now, this right here is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, again, speaks to some new developments. Now, this is a swift news. This is swift news coming in, and a swift development. So, potentially, Pisces, there could be 2 facets here to this reading. There could be almost slow motion happening as far as how you find out about these gaps or what potentially could lurk on the horizon to put you into a kind of a tailspin situation. And it could be kind of slowly, and then all of a sudden you find out what you need to know, that magical piece of information that completely changes your point of view. And then you're taking extremely swift action to rectify the situation so it doesn't kind of roll into a bigger situation. Now, again, this is a general reading, so this could apply to your health, this could apply to money, your work, love relationships. It could apply to a variety of different things. And to be quite honest, I do feel that there's going to be an awful lot of love this month and security this month, but I'm not feeling that that's what the issue is about, because the Cups cards are all in an upright position and very favorable Cups cards, with the exception of the foundation of the spread, which is where you're coming from. So I really do feel that you are going to feel extremely stable and grounded and confident in the loving support that you're receiving this month. But I do think that you're going to need it, because something else is happening here where you have to take that action, and you're really grateful that there's not a whole lot of other things going on so you have the time to actually deal with it and address it appropriately. So Pisces, it looks like a pretty interesting month for you. This is definitely a month to keep your eyes and ears open and to be aware of things that are going on around you. But I do feel that you're going to catch whatever it is that potentially could have tripped you up going forward. You are going to catch it this month and you're going to be able to fix it. So that's great news. So with all of that being said, stay tuned for your year ahead reading, which should be out very shortly. And until we see each other next time, keep your head up, keep smiling, and enjoy the sunshine. Take care.